What's the weirdest thing your so asked you to do in bed, and did you do it? NSFW. Story 1. An ex asked for the following. She pees her pants. I punish her by pulling down her pants and having sex with her wet pants halfway off. Come on her, she'd still be clothed except for her wet pants being pulled down. Pee on her. Until her, I never considered this would be a thing to do. I did accommodate her on more than one occasion, but things did not work out. I saw her and her husband last Sunday at a street festival. I immediately thought about that guy peeing on her. Story 2. Have a BJ race with her friends who are also a couple. To see which of the two girls could make their guy come quicker. She didn't have a lock on her door and had a pesky little brother that always tried to get in her room, so the other couple were on the bed and I was sat up against the door. Her brother tried to come in halfway through. The other couple won. Story 3. Not really weird, but my so had been married 20 years and had never had sex with another guy besides her husband until she started dating me after her divorce. After a couple weeks of lots of teenage-style dry humping and third basing, she finally told me she was ready to cross the finish line. Yeah, I thought because I could not take much more of the foreplay without happy endings. We had straight intercourse that night. She was nervous, but we both felt good. And not 15 minutes after that she asked if she could blow me. And then asked if she could sit on my face while blowing me. And then asked what a reverse cowgirl was. Could we do that too? And could I finger her butthole, pull her hair, and spank her? The next morning she smiled and told me she had been faithfully married to a man who liked missionary maybe twice a month. She wanted to try everything she had heard her friends talk about, and we tried it all over the following weeks. Story 4. A girl who I've had sex regularly with loved it when I was speaking other languages to her. She would ask me to choke her while ducking and face duck her, making her gag. She asked me how to say duck me hard in my language. When I taught her, she went on my Facebook and left me a wall message with the newly learned words. My family is on my Facebook and the first persons to like the wall post were my family. I didn't like the pretend to rape you part since it made me really uncomfortable. I did face duck her though. Story 5. Tied a girl up, ducked her, threw her in the wine closet and went upstairs to watch TV until I felt ready for a round 2. She still claims it was the best sex we ever had, 6 years after we broke up. Freaked me right the duck out. Story 6. Duck her with a lightsaber. Did it. I don't know how much pleasure she got from it. I think it was mostly because she knew I like Star Wars, and that was like Star Wars ducking my girlfriend. Then her mom gave me one of those $100 lightsabers for Christmas. Story 7. Not my so, but my ex once asked to shave her bag and keep the hairs in a bag. To this day, I don't know why she wanted me to do that, nor have I seen the bag since then. Story 8. Bite really hard to the point of blood. I did and we both regretted it. Do not recommend. Story 9. Both dress up as dinosaurs and maintain character throughout with appropriate noises etc. Was actually a lot of fun. Story 10. In my teens, before I had a car or a driver's license, my girlfriend's mom used to give me rides home at night. One night it was really cold, so my girlfriend used a blanket that was in the car to cover us while she laid down with her head on my lap. She then began to unbutton my pants under the blanket. I was sitting behind the driver's seat, her head was on my lap, the blanket was covering us and it was pitch black. She started to give me a blowjob. It was glorious. All the while, I could see her mom through the rear view mirror. I even made eye contact with her. At the end, I came and she swallowed. I felt like a god. If you made it this far, please consider pressing the subscribe and like button. Now continue to the video. Story 11. My ex-wife demanded I duck her in the ass. She told me she had just masturbated while using a butt plug and came super quick. Later she told me, I can't believe you did that to me, and tried to lay on a major guilt trip. I am now happily divorced and remarried to a woman that does not play head games. Story 12. I've done some pretty weird things, most of which has already been covered off in the thread. The funniest story, however, is I was banging by GF on her birthday after we had gone out and gotten really drunk. I used to like it when she slapped me or dug her nails into my back. A bit of pain, but nothing too ridiculous. She was on top and I asked her to punch me. What? No. Come on. No. Fast forward a few minutes and she decided that she did want to hit me. Only she didn't vocalize it. She just did it. In a pitch black room. I didn't see it coming and my mouth was open and she dislocated my jaw. Fun times. Story 13. I met a sweet, innocent-looking Christian girl out at one of my college's spring fling events. When we got back to her dorm room, she revealed that she was really into compression. I spent the next 30 minutes mummifying this girl in cellophane, only to have her roommate come back early and scream in terror to see me binding her friend. We never even got to the SX, although to be honest, I don't know how it would have even worked once she was fully encapsulated. I don't think I would have been able to go through with it anyway. There's something quite bizarre about screwing a cocoon. Story 14. My now wife asked, kinda begged, to be tied up under my desk so she could suck me off while I looked at porn. I may be the luckiest human alive. Story 15. She wanted me to get out of my bed so she could have sex with my friend in it. She forgot to ask though. Story 16. Girlfriend had been watching all the SX and the city seasons at my place and that had her really turned on. I was playing FIFA Online versus my buddy and she gave me head and then reverse cowgirl while she kept telling me not to pause the game. Still won 4-1. Nailed it. Story 17. Someone I know didn't have a choice. He took a girl home after a night out one time. They had sex with her on top. When they'd finished, she climbed off him, squatted over his abdomen and defecated on his stomach like it's just what you do. He was so drunk and so shocked he just sort of let it happen. Story 18. I was on top riding him when I knew that if I didn't leave now I wasn't going to make it to the bathroom in time. I'll be right back, I said, starting to ease off of him. He smiled wryly and gently pushed me back down on his cock. You're not going anywhere until I come. I have to pee, I urgently whispered, do you want pee on your D? My fault was in thinking this was obviously rhetorical. As an answer, all gentleness disappeared as he quickly looped his arms across my back, hands pulling down on my shoulders. Still smiling widely, he began thrusting, deeply, forcefully, methodically. What the duck is going on here, I thought to myself. Barely holding on to control, I weakly asked, are you sure? I want your piss all over me. What the hell, I thought again, I've got it, he wants it, why not? On the next thrust, his D hit what could have only been my pee release valve. The first little dribble came out and he went wild, quickening his pace and manically hitting the spot over and over again while the full stream flowed out. I felt amazing relief, like that moment when you were peeing in a dream right before you wake up and realize you wet the bed, only I was peeing all over an actual person and I wasn't going to have to clean it up because it wasn't my room. He came like crazy. He really liked PSX and we did it a couple more times after that. When I was upset with him, he would offer it up as a sort of apology. Come on, I've been a real big prick. Just take a piss on me and you'll feel much better. He was a total headcase, but really experimental in bed. I'm not with him anymore and my life is much better for it, but sometimes I kind of miss getting weird. Edit, 2 things. Everyone who upvoted this is awesome. Thank you for making me feel good about my writing. I haven't done it in a while. Also, hey, I realize pee-boning isn't the absolute in kink, but it was my introduction into the wild world of weird and I just wanted to share my naive wonder and amusement with the void. Sorry PMers who are disappointed in how not kinky this is. Story 19. I had an ex who was into golden showers, but no matter how much I tried, I never figured out how to piss with an erection. Story 20. Bringing out the kinky alt for true confession time. She wanted to stick needles in my back and have me duck her while they were still in. Yes, I did it. It was a ducking rush. All the adrenaline from the pain mixed with SXY times. Story 21. I met this girl at a law school social. Friend of a classmate. So anyways, things lead to another and we go back to my place, where we proceed to start hooking up. Out of nowhere she grabs my D and just squeezes it. I'm like, OW, what the holy hell are you doing? With zero hint of joking she says, you're pretty mad, huh? I want you to take that anger, bend me over, and choke the shit out of me while you hate duck me. No joke. I seriously remember that exact sentence out of her mouth. It was like a weird sit fetish, because the next morning I broke out laughing telling it to my roommate. Who says shit like use the anger? Use it. In the middle of it, if I let up and wasn't full choking / full slammed from behind, she'd say angrier. That kinda stuff. She clearly has some sort of emotional issue. Anyways, I did, and it was crazy hot. I almost hated myself for liking it so much. Story 22. She tied me to the bedpost so I couldn't move. It was kinky as duck when she was giving me that handy. I came and it felt good. But she proceeded to continue giving that handy. Oh lord, it was painful and I couldn't ducking move. She did it until I came a second time. Most painfully pleasuring time I ever had. A part of me wants it again, but another part of me dreadfully fears it. Story 23. My ex did something similar. She blew me on her family room couch, and when she was done, she kept my penis in her mouth. Kept licking and sucking, to the point where you're at the height of sensitivity, so it's like electric and nearly painful too. Got me hard again, and the second time I came was like freaking thunder. Story 24. My ex was into a lot of kinky things, I on the other hand was quite boring. The best was the first time she asked me to choke her and to duck her roughly. It was the first time doing something besides just vanilla SX. I loved it and happily tried almost anything else she wanted. Other things she wanted: orgasm denial, tied down / handcuffed, bidding, bondage. If only she didn't turn out to be batshit crazy. Story 25. Couple of different things with a couple of different girls. I'm more experienced now, so nothing really throws me, but these are moments in my Soul history that I won't forget. The first time a girl asked me to choke her out. I'm talking she almost passed out and I thought I killed her. Pretty hard to explain the bruises on her neck the next morning to her roommates. The first time a girl asked to lick my asshole. Never knew that was a thing at the time, but she sucked my D, then my balls, then ate out my assailant like no tomorrow while giving me a handjob. Weirdly one of the best things ever, but nothing that I ever asked for or ever will ask another girl to do. Rape scenarios. She would get me to break into her house without telling her when and wear a mask and rape her. She would fight me off almost using as much force as she could while I would literally rape her. I hated it, but this was a fantasy of hers, so I did it for her. Just to make a point, I really hate violence / demeaning Soul acts, but if that's what a girl wants I aim to please.